In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 8 things that only wealthy people can afford to do. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is number one, to help you understand how the wealthy spend their money, but also for you to understand that it's not a good idea to do what the wealthy are doing until and unless you have accumulated sufficient assets where you don't have to work anymore. So if you're working, it's a matter of choice, not because you're still trying to survive. So these 8 things will give you a bit of a glimpse into the lifestyle of the wealthy, but also it's a cautionary sign that until you are wealthy, perhaps it's not a good idea to do what the wealthy do. One of the first things that you'll see wealthy people spend their money on is luxury homes. Now, a luxury home typically is not a great financial decision. It can be a great emotional and lifestyle decision. So many people who haven't created wealth watch the wealthy buy luxury homes and then they try and emulate them without creating wealth. That's not sensible at all. So when you see a wealthy person spending money on a luxury home, don't automatically think that that's the right thing for you as well. It only makes sense if you have already created wealth. And I just wanted to put that caveat out there so people don't misunderstand why I'm talking about this. The second thing that wealthy people may choose to spend their money on is a second residence. It's sometimes a good idea for somebody who's sitting on excess money for lifestyle reasons to be able to buy a second residence. Now, this is not to be confused with an investment property. When people buy a second residence, if they're wealthy, they generally plan on using it purely for lifestyle. They may use it as a weekender pad. But the reason they do that is because they have excess money. And in most cases, if they're really smart, they would have already made provisions for their future. And now they're using the excess money to buy a second residence. The third item that the wealthy choose to spend their money on is a luxury car. A luxury car can create a fantastic experience. If people who sometimes say, a car just gets me from A to B, well, there is a difference in going around the corner in a Bentley versus going around the corner in an ordinary car. Now, the fact is that everybody wants to have these great experiences, but today what you see is a lot of people who are in the middle class and have not made provisions for their future, have not accumulated sufficient wealth buying luxury cars. Now, wealthy people can do it because they have spare money, but if you're a middle class person and you haven't accumulated sufficient assets to replace your income in the future, it's generally not a good idea. The fourth thing that a lot of wealthy people spend their money on is art and antiques. Now, art and antiques can go up in value, but generally they're not income-producing assets. Mostly there is a high risk because there's a very specialized market for them. Now again, you might see some wealthy people that you may know that are spending their money on art and antiques. Should you do it? Well, not until you have built enough wealth through traditional assets like stock market, businesses, and real estate. It's generally not a good idea. But you will find that a lot of wealthy people, once they have built enough wealth through traditional assets, then choose to spend their money on art, antiques, collectibles. It may include a wine collection, sometimes it's vintage cars. All of those things are fine once you have already created sufficient income-producing assets to cater for your future. The fifth thing that a lot of wealthy people choose to spend their money on is exclusive memberships for elite clubs. It could be golf clubs, it could be social clubs, it could be clubs that create luxury experiences. Again, this is a fantastic way to enjoy life. However, caution must be exercised. It is a lifestyle expense, and unless you have created enough investments and assets for yourself, it's generally not a good idea. Now, sometimes there are cases where I'll say to somebody, look, it's okay for you to start spending more money on lifestyle, provided you have a plan where money is being allocated regularly to take care of your future desired net worth. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. So even if you haven't accumulated enough wealth for the future, however you have a plan, where you've already carried out the projections that for the monthly amount that you're investing or the regular amount that you're investing, you are going to hit your net worth target, then it's okay for you to start spending money on lifestyle. But generally, it's not a good idea to just copy the wealthy, because a lot of the times you'll see the lifestyle stuff that the wealthy do, but you're not going to see the behind the scene activities when it comes to investing that they're doing as well. The sixth thing that a lot of wealthy people choose to spend their money on is elite education. Sometimes it could be in the form of specialized programs through prestigious universities. Other times it could just be enrolling in very expensive masterminds, mentorship groups, or actually getting a very in-demand mentor to mentor them one-on-one. Elite education is something that I think everybody should have access to, but unfortunately, you've got to first take care of your basic expenses and your future needs before you can afford it. But sometimes you will see that this is one of the things that the wealthy people do prioritize, and they make allocation to get elite education for themselves. Number 7, you'll find that a lot of wealthy people choose to spend their money on high-end personalized services. Sometimes they'll have an incredibly talented personal trainer. Sometimes they'll have an incredibly well-renowned chef at their disposal. Sometimes they're going to have people who are absolutely amazing at what they do, providing personalized support to these wealthy people. And this personalized support can really enhance the quality of your life and lifestyle. But again, you don't want to do these things until you have made sufficient provisions for your future. And the last thing, which should come as no surprise, is that the wealthy also choose to spend a lot of their money on luxury goods. It is not uncommon to see that wealthy people will have a collection of fine Swiss watches. They may have a fine collection of designer bags or something like that. Again, this is something that you can enjoy once you have made provisions. So just to give you a bit of an idea, look, I came from a background where I didn't have any ability to be able to spend money on these things once upon a time. But what I did was I set up a plan where I got really disciplined and committed about taking care of my financial future by upgrading my entrepreneurial skills and also ensuring that I was making wise investments and managing risk. And then I came to a point where my future had been well taken care of. And so then I decided, you know what, I'm going to still continue to invest. But now I'm at a point where for every dollar that I spend on lifestyle, I put $1.50 to $2, which is 150% or 200% of the money that I'm spending on lifestyle, into investing. If I can't do that, I don't spend on lifestyle. The good news is that over the last few years, as I've upgraded my skills and I have become more in demand for the professional services that I provide, I have been able to do things in such a way where my future has been taken care of, but I'm also able to enjoy an incredible lifestyle in the present. The reason I'm doing this video is to help you understand that wise people make sure that their future is well set up before they go and spend money on lifestyle. And when you don't know this and you don't understand this and you haven't come from a wealthy family, it is very easy to be fooled by watching wealthy people and saying, well, if they're wealthy and they're doing this, I should do it as well. But as I said, that's the part that you can see. What you can't see is all the work that they're doing in private, upgrading their skills, adding incredible value in the marketplace, building enterprises, creating innovative products and solutions, making significant investments. You don't see that part. So you easily fool because you see the part that you can see, and then you just copy that, but you're not seeing the part that they're also doing on the side because that part is not visible. So please understand that I think it's fantastic to get yourself in a position where you can have an incredible lifestyle and make these 8 expenditures like the wealthy do, but the spending always comes after investing. And so that's really the lesson I want you to take away from this video. I would love to know your thoughts. Please share your comments in the comment section below.